Hello there and welcome into a brand new series, Building My Dream House, one room at a time. And today we're going to be starting with the kitchen. The reason I'm starting with the kitchen is because for me and my partner, the most important room in the house is probably going to be the kitchen. We spend a lot of time in there and we're honestly quite particular about what we want from the kitchen. We want a kitchen that is still cozy, but that's also big enough that someone could cook, well, that he could cook mostly, and I could clean, like do the dishes, or he could clean while I'm baking for him. This general kitchen layout was inspired by a cottage that we stayed at with my family at the beginning of February of this year, and I really liked the concept. It was kind of closed off, so it still felt contained and cozy, but it was still open enough to the rest of the room that people could still engage with you but not be directly in the kitchen. I do not like people in my kitchen while I'm cooking sometimes. They just always seem to be exactly in the spot I need to go next. And you go, oh, excuse me. And then they go to the next spot you need to go next. It's uncanny how this happens. And it happens with every single person I know. I'm really excited about this series. I've always wanted to build a dream house in The Sims, but really big builds overwhelm me. Especially because of the way I build. I'm a very ADD builder, so I jump around from spot to spot a lot, and big homes make it so much more difficult because I'm constantly jumping from like the kitchen to the bathroom to the bedroom, and I end up overwhelming myself and never actually complete a big build. So I figured if I broke it down into each room and really just honed in on what I would want for each room, that I would be a lot more successful. Then in the final episode, when this is all said and done, we're going to piece together each room and then decorate the exterior and do landscaping. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be kind of like a puzzle. I know some YouTubers, a few years ago actually, did some like building my room, like with pre-built rooms or rooms from the gallery. And that's kind of what inspired this, but instead of it being rooms that I find or rooms that EA provides, it's rooms that I've built for the specific purpose of this house. They're just not built together. This might be a terrible idea. It might be awful to do. It might be impossible to try to, pull them together. But I'm up for the challenge. And if you're up to see me complete this type of challenge, I mean, it's a casual challenge, but a challenge nonetheless. But if you're up to join me on this adventure, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give the video a like and a comment so I know that you guys are interested. Regardless, I'm going to keep building it for my own sake, but I would love to know if you guys are interested, and I would also really love to know what room you think I should do next. Right now, I'm kind of thinking, maybe I should do my office next because I'm very into, my dream office. I work from home 4 to 5 days a week, and then I stream and make YouTube content, so, finding somewhere that's perfect for me would be ideal. I think one of my favorite parts of this room is the espresso bar that I'm starting to build. I do end up changing the counters a little bit later because I want everything to be light, bright, and airy, and then the accents to come from the painted wall because that's what I would do in real life, right? I wouldn't buy or paint my cabinets blue. I would just add accents on the wall behind it. Also did a tiny dining room attached to this. I could never imagine myself having a big, fancy, formal dining room. But the idea of having like a kitchen dining room combination that's just super casual. So if you have, a couple friends over, you can play games there. You can eat there together. My fiance and I mostly on the couch, so I'll probably end up putting the couch to the left of the kitchen. I do end up putting like an archway there, and I kind of envisioned that's where I'm going to place the living room. I want to do for the walls, I ended up doing the entire room with this white wall, and I add a white backsplash to the kitchen because you don't want your cooking to be spraying and messing up your wall. You want that right on the tile. But then this felt very light to me, so I do go in and I add some navy blue accent walls, and at this point I realized that maybe I don't want the blue counter, so I do end up switching back to an identical island to the one I'm using in the kitchen, and I do think it just really pulls the room together. I think the espresso bar ended up being one of my favorite parts of this entire build, which is kind of true to what it would be in real life. We have an espresso machine, which is wonderful, but it's kind of the lazy man's espresso, and I would love to be able to make homemade lattes from scratch, so this is really important to me. And Plants, I added so many plants I could never in real life because my cat loves eating leaves. So, you know, let a girl dream, let a girl have some plants virtually. I also added this like little couch, and like I know it's not a living room, but like my fiance really likes having company when he cooks. And not like company who's gonna talk to him and hold a conversation, because he needs to focus when he cooks. But he does like having like my presence there. I think my presence is a present. Um, so I added in a little couch so that I could like read or like play on my Switch and just like hang out. I could also hang out at the island, but I would probably end up lounging on the couch, especially if he was like deep into cooking and I just wanted to like read for a bit. But yeah, the espresso bar, every time I look at it, I just get so happy. It's just the perfect amount of like clutter that feels like not too overwhelming, like the amount of clutter you actually would have in your space. When I'm building, I always like to think of making houses feel lived in, but not too much clutter that the game glitches or like you lose plates under all of the clutter that the game just doesn't register as there. So I like to find a balance because nobody likes to have missing stinky plates. I also sadly got rid of the cat poster that I've had the whole build, but I really felt like we'd probably have a collage of pictures like this more than we'd have a giant angel and devil cat picture, although like we still would. And then I just wanted to add in some like pictures that like brought the room together. This little coffee poster, which like we probably wouldn't have like a pink version, but we do have like a coffee related poster near our kitchen now, so you know, it's not too off the beat. And I wanted to add in some pictures that pulled in some more browns. And this boat picture isn't actually a boat we would have, but my fiance's grandfather was a mason and has this framed certificate that we keep up. So we would definitely have that up. But yeah, this is my dream kitchen. I think it turned out so nicely. It feels light and bright and cozy, but it also still feels bold and fun. I could definitely see myself coming in here in the morning, making myself an espresso, curling up on the couch there and just drinking it. When we get around to the full build with the landscaping, I'm going to add a porch off the back here with like a barbecue and sitting area. I think it's going to really bring this room together. And if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Bye!